No matter how any of us feel, AI is the future of language learning. Now, before you click off, just hear me out. I know for many people, myself included, AI can be a bad word. You don't have to look hard to find some company that's using AI to either lay off people or completely replace departments, even in our own language community. But for us to ignore the good ways that we can use AI, it only hurts us in the long run. Now, before we start, AI is just a tool. It is not a one-size-fits-all solution. It will not be the main thing that teaches you Japanese or any language you're trying to learn. If you have issues with AI, I get it, I understand, especially with the situation with Duolingo and the countless number of times that companies have been caught doing AI subtitles, putting translators out of jobs. But AI is a tool, it helps us learn, and I just want to show you some ways that I believe that AI can be used to help you further your learning. Now, one of the first ways that you can use I'm going to use ChatGPT. I'm using the free version because I'm not going to pay OpenAI to do that. So I'm just going to get it to explain the Ga particle. And as you can see, it gives you a breakdown of whatever grammar you're needing to understand. Like, this is not how I would typically use it, but this is something that you can do. It gives you sample sentences. So let me look up, I'm just going to look up a random Japanese sentence. We're just going to copy this real quick and we're going to paste it. And I'm going to ask, can you explain the grammar, might help if I can spell grammar, the grammar of this sentence. And it breaks down everything for you. Super helpful tool. Can it make mistakes? 100%. Typically, I find that this works pretty good though. All right, next way. You can use ChatGPT to create you a test. So all you gotta do is, can you create, I can't type, can you create me a test about Japanese at a JLPT N5 level? It just created me a practice test in a few seconds. Pretty freaking cool. And then, would you like me to grade it automatically if you send in your answers? Or do you like version 2 with harder JLPT questions next? It's a great tool to test yourself. I personally, I just hit my mic. I think I hit my mic every single video. But I think that testing yourself is such a great way to learn. At least for me personally, it helps give you like kind of a, hey, this is what I'm doing good at. This is what I still need to improve on. For me, I love testing myself. That's a me thing. I don't know if you would like to do that, but this is one great way that AI can be used for. And it doesn't just have to be like a JLPT test. It can be create me a 100-word vocab test on JLPT N5 vocab. And so different kind of tests, and you can write in your answers, everything like that. It's multiple choice. Before we move on to the next thing that I was about to showcase with the test, if we go through this test, if you know Japanese, you will understand that it only did 50 words. It gave me 100 questions, but it only used 50 words and just repeated them going from English to Japanese and Japanese to English. So what I can change that to is, this is one of the issues with using AI. You have to kind of, you got to have a little bit of knowledge to know that this isn't what it's supposed to be doing. That test only used 50 words. Could you redo it with 100? And boom. So now it should go through and create an actual 100-word test. We're going to check to see if it does it right this time. But this is one of the downfalls of using AI. It's not perfect, but it's something that can definitely help out. A lot better the second time around. Then it asks you to, hey, do you want me to make this into an auto-scoring Google form or a quiz app, or turn it into a printable PDF? So you can choose either one of those options. There, you have a wonderful test that you can use. Next thing that we can do, let's say we wanted it to create a short story at JLPT N5 level. Now, this is not my favorite way to use this. This is just an option that I know a lot of people do use. So this is just something that you can use if you're needing more material at a certain level to read. Use it if you want to, don't use it if you don't. This method is kind of iffy, especially at the lower stages of language learning when you have a lot of resources. Especially if you're like N5, N4, N3, you have like graded readers and different things of that nature that are specifically made for language learners. If you go to learnnatively.com, has like a great list of a bunch of free ones, things of that nature that you can use. It's just PDFs. It pulls them up on your phone or your computer or wherever you're reading it on, and it works great. I highly recommend that instead of this method. This method, I would say, if you've run out of material and you can't find something, or you're in a situation where the material that you're needing is going to be paid for, then this is an option to give you some reading materials. Gave us a little short story, English translation, and gave us some comprehension questions. That's pretty cool. And we can get a list of vocabulary. Like I said, one of the good things about using AI is that it's versatile. It's helpful, at least with these kinds of situations. And the last thing I am going to show y'all is the way that I see a lot of people using ChatGPT, and that is actually on my phone. So give me 1 second to get that booted up. You can do this on your computer. Don't let me get that wrong. I just have to do it on my phone because I don't have a microphone hooked up to my computer at the current moment. And so yeah, I'm just gonna do this on my phone real quick. Hey ChatGPT, can you just respond and talk in Japanese from now on?
了解です。これからは日本語でお話ししますね。何か聞きたいことや話したいことがあったら遠慮なくどうぞ。
Can you talk at a JLPT N5 level?
わかりました。それでは JLPT N5 レベルの日本語でお話ししますね。何でも気軽に聞いてください。
Now, I don't know if you were able to hear that on my microphone, but pretty much it toned down the language to a different level so you can adjust the levels of how it speaks to you. This is, I think, one of the best things that you can use ChatGPT for, because especially when you're just starting to learn, it can be very awkward trying to talk to a real person. And you might not want to invest that money into like services like italki or things like that. Until you're at a certain point, I personally don't feel like those services are worth the money because they have so much more knowledge because they're a native speaker or a native instructor in that language that your money is best used when you've gotten to a certain degree of knowledge. So I would recommend at least using ChatGPT for talking in the beginning stages of learning a language, and then going on to actually talking with a real person like italki or different things of that nature. Because for me personally, I never really have success with language learning, like the community apps where you're trying to talk to someone in their language and your language. Typically, for me, it's never worked out. I think that these are some great ways to use AI. Hopefully, if you're interested in learning, this is just something you can add to your toolbox. I do want to say some things before I leave. AI is not perfect, as you saw with the test where it repeated the 50 words. It's going to make mistakes sometimes. It's not a substitute for talking with actual people or immersing with actual content, especially with the short stories or things like that. If you are at a level where you can use actual content, that's great. That's wonderful. That is the way to go. This is just supplementary. It's not there to replace that. I'm gonna send you on your way. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you're gonna try out any of these, let me know how they worked out for you or what you're most interested in trying. And once again, I thank you all for your support. My last video that I made, I just lost my job maybe a few days ago at the time of recording that one. And that was a video that I didn't think anyone would watch about pizza. Pizza prices in Japan versus America. If that's something you're interested in, probably not, but it was super awesome to see that video actually get views because I didn't think a single person in the world was going to watch that. So thank you. I am already working on another video as well, which should be up in a few days after this one, about the declining birth rate in Japan. I think for this channel, I'm going to try to go between language learning, especially Japanese, and Japanese topics, just Japanese culture related topics. I'm really into politics. I'm really into economy, different things like that. And for me, I want to know more about the culture. And so I view this as a way to learn those kinds of things. And it makes me look up different things that I wouldn't normally look up. So thank you again for watching. Hopefully I'll see y'all on the next one. If y'all want to see me there, see me there. Bye everyone.